Hi everyone, welcome to the RDA podcast. It's great to have you here on board. We have a special Le Mans episode featuring Richard Dean.
Okay. Hello, Kevin.
Hi Richard.
Hi, how are we doing?
Yeah, good. You?
Good.
Excellent.
Good to be here.
So, you are Richard Dean, the owner and founder of United Autosports. I have a number of questions I want to ask. I want to start with the name. Why United Autosport?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks it's my love of Leeds United, but it's not. So Zach Brown, longtime friend and business partner, we decided to start a team. One of the considerations was the team name, and we went through lots of different scenarios. We weren't expecting the team to develop over the 15 years that we're to the stage we are today. So, but we still wanted to be fairly serious. So we came up with United due to the friendship that we had, where Zach is from the United States, I'm from the United Kingdom. We decided United Autosports. Simple as that.
That's a great background to a name, I think. So that leads me on to a different, similar question, but along the same lines. So, kind of, why did you start? I mean, you've partially answered that, but what was the main driver between you and Zach?
I think all these things that it's just a point in time that we were both at a little bit of a crossroads on various things. So Zach was moving his family, his business in motorsports marketing at the time was growing, and he'd opened a London office, and I think the London office was starting to take over in terms of the most important market for him in Formula One and Formula One marketing, and the heart of business, as you know, in Formula One is in the UK, and he was moving his family over. So it was a big move for him and his family to move from where they were in Indianapolis over to London. Cool. I'd been working on a project for a number of years, and I just still in motorsport, but I'd gone away from the sort of competitive side of motorsport and running a championship and race car production, and I'd sort of gone away from what I loved, the cut and thrust of competing. So we were both at this crossroads. I think I was in Indianapolis at the time. We were both like over a bottle of wine, like all good ideas are born. And we said, as Zach moves over, he wanted to race something for fun. He'd been racing in the Ferrari Challenge in America. So I was like, well, good thing, new series that would really just perhaps only a few years old was GT3 in the UK, and it was really on and up, and popularity was going. I was like, it'd be cool to get a GT3 car and a truck, and then maybe we start a little team. Me and Zach could race it together in like British GT. It'd be a bit of fun, but we never intended it to be a business. We never intended it to be what for me is now full-time occupation. So I'd love to tell you that we had this really business plan projection of where we are today, and everything hit its targets, but it's just evolved really. We decided to start a team for a bit of fun.
Excellent. That's a really great answer, and it kind of leads me into, and this is slightly off script in terms of the question I'm going to ask, is you being here in this seat, certainly from my personal perspective, I always question myself how I've got where I am. And I know I've had a conversation with you about that, and you've given me an interesting answer, and I want to ask that again, which is, like you say, you didn't have a plan, but you question how you've got here.
Yeah, I just think a lot of us got a competitive side to our personalities. Some it's stronger than others, and motorsport breeds, that competitive instinct in you, and so you want to go take part in any sport. Motorsport's no different. You want to do the best you possibly can. So you backpedal to the story I've just said, where we started in British GT, and we won our first British GT race in our first year. And you think, you're looking at another series and another championship and a step up, and you think, wouldn't it be cool to do this, and wouldn't it be cool to one day?
Yeah.
And we talked about doing a British championship, which we did for a number of years, and we were like, wouldn't it be cool to go and do a European championship and try and be, if you can be British champions, could you be European champions? And then you do that, and we won the European Le Mans series in LMP3 in 2016, I want to say. I should know. And then in winning that, we got an invite to come to Le Mans.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, was a bit of a step too far. We only were going to do this with one truck and a car and a bit of fun, and here we are. But you get an opportunity to be here at Le Mans, and you've been, I know, we've been here together a number of years now, and there's something very special about this race. So it's like you can't miss that opportunity. So it just evolves into, you do Le Mans, and we had some success in our first year, and we didn't win.
Right.
So it's like you got to come back.
Got to go
You got to
again.
come back and come back until you win it, and suddenly you've just been driven on, and then the rest of the years we win a European championship, and we're like, it'd be cool one day to do a world championship, and then there we were doing a world championship. And so, like I say, without there being a business plan that you go to present to your bank, you've always got a plan in mind of the next step, because Zach's personality is always pushing and striving, and he's relentless, and you want to challenge yourself. So it's naturally just taking those steps, and like I say, here we are 15 years later, and it's our 9th Le Mans.
That's a great way to describe an answer to that question. So Le Mans, and why we're here. We're a number of times I've been, and I see the energy that the team bring. So last year win. What are we thinking this year, 2025?
I mean, the preparation's always to do the ultimate job and then to win. And we know in racing, in any racing, there's a certain amount of luck and jeopardy involved in it that are maybe perhaps out of your control. So you can only prepare for all the things that are in your control, and I think we've prepared really well, and we built on it year after year. Like I say, it's our 9th Le Mans, so every year we've tried to come back stronger and better. The competition improves all the time, and it pushes you on, and it's getting tougher, so you have to work even harder. But your question is, what about this year? I mean, we've won it twice. Wouldn't it be cool to win it 3 times? And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's it is, and I think from a personal perspective, from the outsider looking in and seeing how the team evolves over the weekend, the energy and that pinnacle moment on Sunday at 4 o'clock when the checkered flag comes down, the reflection then over those 9 years, and then going into potentially 2026 and rule changes in LMP2, I believe. Where do you think the future is going to go with Le Mans and
for United? When does this podcast go out?
I don't know. I think I soon.
So here we are. Where are we, Kevin? We are on Tuesday, the run up to Le Mans. On Friday, we announce our hypercar deal with McLaren, and that's where we're going next. And again, something I didn't dream about. I didn't even really contemplate, but a few years ago we got the opportunity to present to a major car manufacturer, and the new hypercar regulations came out, and we're very interested in it. It's the next natural step for us. Back to this, be cool to go to Le Mans, wouldn't it? And then we've been to Le Mans, be cool to win it. But now, wouldn't it be great to try to go and win outright, and to go and win with a major brand and an amazing brand like McLaren? And we're it's hard to believe really when you reflect back on those years and how long we've known each other to even think that we're in this position. It's quite incredible, and it's testament to the team. But I think we deserve our opportunity. We've won this race twice, and we've won Daytona now, and I feel confident without being overconfident that we can take that next step. So that's the future, but we're going to keep the LMP2 program going because it's what got us here, and it's a natural feeder for everybody from engineers and mechanics, you know, the marketing staff and everybody that's played a part within the team that's got this next opportunity, which is incredible. You know, we need to be ready for it, and I think, you know, our race series that feed into what's coming for the future are very important to keep going.
Cool. That's cool. Thanks for answering that. I then have another question, which you just partially alluded to. So hypercar, it's brought a lot of manufacturers to world endurance. We're seeing a lot more. I'm going to go back to '88 when I first attended my Le Mans in a car that you drove. And I see you go across the line a couple of weeks ago, a Historics, a Jaguar, and having that opportunity to see how it's evolved over a long 40-30 years, the hypercar program, and bringing now, obviously McLaren are here in a GT program, but the next evolution with the hypercar and other manufacturers coming in, what do you see with that journey?
Well, I think, you know, we're really fortunate to be at a point in time of sports cars where it's in incredibly strong health. You know, you only look at a decade ago, and when we were here, I think we came in 2017 with an LMP2. We finished 4th overall.
Wow.
So you've got, I should know the answer to this, I think there's 20 hypercars on the grid now.
Yeah, there is.
And you've got McLaren coming now, and you've got Ford coming, you've got Hyundai through the Genesis brand coming, the grid's getting bigger. So it's in incredible health. And we're fortunate that we're in this period of time where, you know, we're active in the sport, because those opportunities a few years ago where you've only got Porsche and Toyota on the grid.
Too.
So long may it continue. I think, you know, it's good for all of us. It's good for the sport. It's good for everybody that's active in motorsport. Businesses like RDA, partners that we have, like with you guys, that help us navigate our way through the business life to get here on the grid in good health. Yeah, it's. I agree with that. It's a great time to be involved in sports cars.
So a little bit of a, I suppose, a side question. I mean, we have Drive to Survive. That's been all over, and some of my team, they watch that to understand a little bit about motorsport. So with these manufacturers coming in, and in theory, there's less in Formula One. Do you see WEC being that challenger as a series potentially to Formula One?
No.
Oh, okay. Why is
that? It's just too different. It's very different, and Formula One is huge. Formula One's like no other business that I can imagine in the world. Formula One is also going through this boom period. You know, incredible popularity. TV viewing figures are incredible. The money that's going into the sport. McLaren, you know, leading the constructors, winning the constructors last year, leading it again this year. You know, so again, we're with the right partner going forward. I just think they're very, very different. You know, you've got 300,000 people at the last Grand Prix. You're going to have 300,000 people here. The motorsport enthusiast is a common ground, but they're very, very different, very different disciplines. So we will never challenge Formula One as a sports cars, but equally it's different enough for them to both coexist and be successful as they are.
I think it gives the fans a different view. So from my perspective, you can watch a whole Formula One season in a weekend. I think so. For me, it was my you know, the view of the fan looking in. They get a bit more immersed. It's a longer period, so I think it's, you know, we do what we do for some of the fans that come and watch, and certainly I think how do you see the fans perceiving the dynamics of United, McLaren, all of that? What, put yourself out in the fan zone. How's that going to be on Friday?
Well,
with the announcement of the hypercar.
I hope it's going to be received well. I mean, I think again McLaren's just on a high at the moment, and I was at a Grand Prix a few weekends ago, and it's amazing how many papaya shirts are. The grandstand's just full, and the McLaren merchandise, and you've got two great drivers with Lando and Oscar, who seem to be fans love and want to follow, and I think great examples. Young men that are achieving what they're achieving. So I think, that I'm hoping the sports car, the McLaren hypercar program is received in the same way, and I suspect it will, because what's been created at McLaren now is an exciting, accessible, fan-friendly manufacturer, race car constructor. In my personal view, it's not the grey, very well drilled machine it was in the past. It's much more personable, and it's much more exciting, and people really want to get behind it. And our job is to keep that in sports cars, and hopefully in 2027, when we're racing for the first time here, the grandstands are full in the same way of McLaren fans.
Cool. That's cool. That's great. So, I know I'm going to labour a question around the hypercar, and you mentioned the date on 2027. So, to give the audience an idea of how long it takes to get a car from a design, test it, and get it onto the track. What's that in months, years, and?
Well, I mean, you could probably do it quicker than we are doing it, but perhaps may not do as good a job. What the engineers will tell you is they probably need more time, and what the marketing people are like, we need to be racing straight away. So you find the middle ground. But sports cars is a bit unusual, especially with the new hypercar regulations, where you're involving a chassis manufacturer. Lots of different parties that need to come together. And we've got the right amount of time, but we need to get moving with it. But we've got the right amount of time. But you've got, design. You've got to choose all the partners wisely, correctly. You've got to study the regulations to ensure that you've got the right package. Which is the best engine, which is the best engine configuration. You choose the chassis manufacturer, then you've got to integrate the engine in the chassis. Then you've got to sit that within the regulations. Then you're doing aerodynamic work, and then you want to do track testing, test and development. You need to do endurance testing, because we're not doing a 1 hour race, we're doing a 24-hour race, so you want to be doing 30-hour tests where you're exhausting everything to try and break it, so that design and development goes through 6 months, and ideally you have 10 months of on-track developing, and then you sign the car off, and everything gets shipped to the first race in Qatar, and you need a few months to get the team sort of prepped, and then suddenly the first race is upon you.
Excellent. So, what we can gain from that is it's not straightforward. It's a really longer time period. I think for me, then a question really is about the way that we, certainly from a business perspective, and how we're supporting United and McLaren. What do you think is the benefit that us, I'm a sponsor as well, what do we bring to the team, and how does that help make the dynamics of the team evolve?
Well, we're very much a racing people, and as you know, you go into that garage, everybody's focused on performance and on the car. So you can't get away from the fact that we have to operate like a business. So money coming in the door's got to equal money going out the door, and sometimes everything's so focused on performance, and we employ engineers to make the cars go faster, and they don't really care about budgets and managing the business aspect. So sometimes it's hard to, when you're employing somebody to make the car go faster and they want something and they want to spend some money on something, or the latest or more testing and more wind tunnel work, it's hard to say no. So we need to keep our eye on the business and the ever-changing world and regulations, and that obviously we rely on people like you to do those little departments for us, in the same way that we're employing a department for aerodynamics and a department for research and development on durability, but we're relying on you guys to look after these elements of our business. And so far a very successful partnership, so long may it continue. And again, we had a little talk in here with the team yesterday in the run up to the race, and it is important that everybody does their job, and the drivers ultimately get the plaudits. They stand on the podium if you've done a good job, and everybody thinks that perhaps they're the face of the team and they've done the majority of the work. But the run up to this race and the run up is done by everybody. Some of the people back at the factory that haven't travelled have played their part in it, and if they don't do their job, it falls down. The hospitality, the guest experience, the way that the garage operates, all of that. So everybody, including our RDA partnership, it all has to sort of work pretty seamlessly.
So that's really good. I think for me is, we're two of us just sitting here. There, as you say, the run up in terms of time frame. How many people are actually in the background that we don't see running up, and the timing? How long does that take to get to this point?
Well, we started planning for Le Mans, this year's Le Mans, when Le Mans finished last year. So the planning department, the logistics department are booking the hotels as we're leaving the hotel. We're booking it to make sure, because everything's booked out, as you know. So you immediately start a process and it just ramps up, and you're having your first planning meeting 6 months ago, detailed planning meeting about people and who and where, and I think we've got 120 people here this week. We've still got people back at base, and still people back at the US base in Charlotte, because when we finish the race here on Sunday, we head off to the USA for the next round of the American Championship, the IMSA Championship at Watkins Glen, which is back-to-back weekends. So we've got people back in Charlotte, our base in America, working away, and all of those, if they're not doing the job, or we haven't got those guys, then we're pulling people away from here to do it, and then suddenly you're diluted. So 120 people involved is probably the short answer to your question, and everybody hugely important.
Yeah. Well, I think, we prepare when we come as a team. That's just the RDA crew. We're Tuesday today, and there's 5 of us, and there's a couple more teeing up on Friday. So I think really it's just to give the audience, or anybody watching the podcast, just a sense of the enormity of what Le Mans takes to get here. And I think that's a great answer to the question. And I think I have a question about the guys behind us, and who these people are and what the reference is. I don't know if you could answer that for me.
Yeah, so the Le Mans trophy here, the winning trophy, is from 1995, when McLaren were last here and won Le Mans. So you've got Sakias, you've got Yannick Delmas, you've got JJ Leto, the drivers of the car number 95 that won in, car number 59 that won in 1995. And we have our 2 McLarens here in the GT, both numbered 95 and 59, so we're keeping a theme there. And the 3 of the guys are here this weekend in our hospitality. The winning car from this year is in the museum, which is still owned by McLaren. Hugely iconic car, an important piece of McLaren's history. It's here in the museum, and when we do unveil hypercar. We've got the new hypercar sat next to it, and McLaren have invited these guys to be part of it. So it's 30 years ago where McLaren won the race here.
Oh my word. That was 1995. Oh my God. So I was here in '88. That just goes to show how long. Oh my word. So I've been involved or watched from a fan, and then having these guys here at the weekend will be amazing. So I've got a couple more questions. So I suppose these are kind of random highs and lows. What's the highs?
Highs of this race, or motorsport, or life,
or life in general.
Let's not go into life in general.
I think the last, let's say 2024 Le Mans, and then some highs and lows from.
Yeah, so I mean, it's always a low point when we don't win a race. Mm-hmm. It's always a high point when you win a race, and when you do win that race, it makes up for all the low points.
Yeah.
I mean, last year winning Le Mans for the second time was incredible. Winning it for the first time, I'll never forget. Mm-hmm. I think I probably got a chance to enjoy it more the second time. Mm-hmm. First time was during COVID. There were no fans here. Seeing the drivers on the podium having to wear masks and no fans was took the edge slightly off that, which was still an incredible achievement. But it was great last year to have the full experience for the team. Lows probably this race. A couple of years ago, when we were probably in many people's eyes favourite for the race, and our two cars collided and took each other out. And but you have to pick yourself up, and you keep pushing, and then you soon forget about it when you win a race until somebody like you brings a question
Sorry.
up. But the race wins, and the other one this year winning the Daytona 24 hours as well, and I don't know what the history says, but there can't have been many teams that have won Le Mans 24 hours and Daytona 24 hours within 10 months of each other, 8 months of each other, whatever that is. But we did. So let's focus on the highs. Those were them.
The highs are always good.
Yeah.
So I guess then some questions then about this weekend coming. We've got 4 cars running, so 2 GTs, 2 LMP2s, 2 different cars. I know practice has seen the LMP2 do fairly well in practice.
We topped the times, we were quickest, so it was good.
That's good. And then how's the GT cars coming?
So we it's always difficult. You have 4 cars, and people were asking me at the end of the official test day, how did it go? And you go, okay, well, one side of the garage is delighted, and the other guys, we were mid-table on the times, but there's a bit of a story there, and there's a lot of positivity still there. We had a bit of damage on one car, which meant we had to take the whole rear end of the car and change the subframe and engine out and whatever. So it created a lot of work, and that meant that something like that on a test day always sets you back, because the plan that you have gets torn apart. So you don't get as much development time. You're not really focusing on performance. So knowing that we have got that opportunity to make up for that time this week, I think there's still a lot of positivity on the McLaren side, and I've got no reason to think anything other than a podium is
not that far away.
Entirely possible on the McLaren side, and obviously the same on the P2 side. So we're going into this race very optimistic.
Sounds good. I think we're nearly close to the end. I'm going to part on one question, and it's a bit of about innovation.
Yeah.
How much innovation do you think is going to push and then bring a conclusion on Sunday of different things that come together?
I mean, motorsport's all about innovation, isn't it? And every year we come back and we're pushing the boundaries, and I can't talk about details because obviously we've got so much competition here. But you know, if you're not pushing, you stand still, and the competition is so strong and so very capable here that we have to stay ahead of the competition, and you know, the engineers are unearthing every avenue, every possibility. So innovation's what's
going to drive it.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you.
Okay.
This is really good. Thanks for the insights. So look forward to sharing this podcast with everyone. Thanks. Goodbye.